All right, 210. Hey guys, it's Natasha with Latina 210 Podcast. Thank you to Bob Hub Media for housing and producing, and to Latina Podcast Network for having me on your network, guys. If you're watching, go listen. If you're listening, go watch. Same spiel, different week, right? You're gonna want to see who I have, so go to YouTube and make sure that you like and subscribe, and I appreciate it. Share with your friends. So today I have my beautiful guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Steffanie Martinez.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
So we've known each other for a few years now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we met in 2021. Yes.
Was it?
2021, September 2021.
Oh, that's exact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember. I have a good memory when it comes to dates.
Nice.
Yes.
I wish I did. Okay, so we met because you were a singer for a friend.
Yes. Well, actually, like I had started singing like way before, and I was only going to be like in the music video, like pretending I was singing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just for the look of it.
Yeah.
So I was invited to that music video shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I met you.
Yes, and it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And you're amazing.
Oh, thank you. So are
You're, like,
you.
super
I was
talented.
a little scared of you at first.
What? Why?
Yes. I don't know. I thought you were a mean girl at first. I was like, oh, she might be mean. But just because of the look on your face, you're like,
Oh, I have RBF. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. And so, but I like am a firm believer in like networking
Yes.
and talking to people
Yeah.
and meeting people.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that's why they say don't judge a book by its character, right? So then I went, introduced myself, and talked to you for a little bit, and you lit up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, she's cool. And after that, we became friends, acquaintances, friends. and
Yes.
just
Yes.
have seen each other
Well,
here
I'm
and
so
there.
glad you came up to me. I don't
Me
mean to.
too.
It's only like if I'm super stressed out or if I'm not familiar with like who's around me,
Right.
then I'm like just assessing. And so
Yes.
then my RBF kicks in like
Taking
crazy.
it all in.
Yes,
And
because then
you're
I'm
just
like, where am I?
Focusing.
Yes, like who are these people that I'm around and
Yeah.
all that, especially if I'm like alone or not with like, like a lot of people that I'm comfortable with. But
Yeah.
anyway, no, okay, so yes,
So we met
I've
then.
Yes, and I've supported you since then because I love you and I
thank
love what you do,
you.
and you're so sweet and kind-hearted,
you.
and we're just gonna dive into it. So like
Let's do
you have been through some shit.
Yes.
And
you know about it. Because like I
Yes.
opened up with you right away. Like
Yes.
remember you did my makeup for the
yes.
for the performance. And I
Uh-huh.
was just like a little open book like going off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're comfortable with talking about some of that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of going back, I was sharing with you even just like right now how I went to lunch just a week ago with a friend of mine, and she was like, so like what happened? And I feel like there's so many friends that I have. Well, San Antonio's really small,
Mhm.
especially like growing up in the Catholic schools that I went to. Everybody knows everyone. And so, when we get on Facebook, it started when we were like probably in our early 20s. Maybe we're 18, 19. So we just start posting all this stuff. And that's how people get to see what you're doing in your life. And I had traveled, a little bit and moved to a couple different cities throughout my life. And so everybody was kind of just watching me, behind the camera of Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
And so then here all this time later, a good friend of mine was like, so what happened? Like, none of us really know. Like, you never really told us.
Yeah.
And so I just could say that it was really a good time that I got hacked into and everything was gone on Facebook, and I had to like start all over. And so people saw like that I had transitioned from being mom, home births, and naturally, living by the ocean and in the Caribbean, living a good life. From that, just kind of disappearing for a bit, and then being back in San Antonio and starting a new career.
Mm-hmm.
And really that happened because survival mode kicked in. And it was like, okay, close off what happened. And now you're going to drive to be the best that you can be. And especially for the kids. And so I ended up like going full force into this new career and not looking back, just driving as fast as I could, and embracing a new life, embracing my talents, and as a songwriter, singer, starting to record and putting everything behind me. But what I was sharing with you is like I learned so much during that time. I struggled with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to come to terms with that. It was so difficult. And it was after the third baby. It was in 2020. She was born in January 2020. And it was really hard. I felt alone, single mom, totally isolated from my family.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned through, family counseling that I was with a total narcissist, psychopath. Of course, things start off so beautiful. They promise you the world. You believe in all the dreams.
Yeah.
Part of the dreams came true. But then the other second half is like, what is this? This was not on the menu. I didn't sign up for this. And so at the time that I was going, I have received, like, oddly enough, some criticism, some judgment from others when I would share my story. Instead of, like, for example, when I shared it with you, you were so compassionate. Like, literally, you, like, grabbed my hands and said how much you were there for me if I needed anything. And I really appreciated that. There would be times that I'll have, like, conversations with old friends, new friends, family members.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten, why'd you stay so long? Or, you must have liked it.
Wow.
What?
That's terrible.
I must have liked it. And it's like you weren't in my shoes. You weren't in my shoes where I was being threatened for my life to be taken away.
Right.
Is being threatened that they would take the kids so far that I would never know where they were, never see them again. I was told, you can't go. The law here in this country, in Mexico, is you need my signature. You need my signature to take those kids across the border. So every single time that I would have to go get it notarized. I had to have his permission. Like, trapped.
Right.
And living in fear.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're not in your right mind, when you are going through depression, one thing is, for myself, I was living one day at a time. I never gave up on my faith. I knew that I had seen some red flags that I decided in the beginning that I decided to just ignore, which was wrong.
Sorry, I don't mean to
you're
stop
good.
you in
You're
the middle of
good.
your story, but I think it's really important for people to understand this. What were some of those red flags that you ignored, right? Because people are like, oh, I'm in love, or is it that bad? And, we all have our issues, our flaws, but what were some of those things?
And we have some red flags too, I'm sure, at times.
I don't have any. Just kidding.
Mine are all green.
Yeah.
Mine are all green.
Yeah.
But no, so for what I saw and it wasn't the very, very beginning, it was a little bit later on, which was he would get angry and he was very explosive, but not to me. It would be to others. And so I saw that behavior and I just felt like, well, I mean, it's not to me, so it's fine. Like, he really cares about me. Like, he's showing that he cares and he does this for me or he does that for me. So he's not projecting that on me. He's projecting that on others. And that was not okay.
Yeah.
And I knew that then, like, it frightened me at that time, what I would see, how he would lash out to others. It frightened me a bit, but not to the extent where I felt like he was going to turn around and do it to me.
Yeah.
And also the treatment that he gave to his dogs. He had one dog, it was huge. Well, he had two, but this one in particular. When he would, discipline him, he would have him in the corner, and that dog obeyed him. It was a Dogo Argentino from Brazil. And so he had actually had the dog, like, flown in and purchased a dog. And he had the dog in the corner, and he would go out and spray it with water. At that time, I was already pregnant.
Yeah.
And I felt trapped, and I felt like I'm already in this.
Yeah.
But when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that's scary.
That's abuse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, after my son was born, that's when it all came just pouring down. I wasn't a good enough mom. I wasn't feeding him properly. I wasn't burping him properly. He wasn't sleeping properly because I didn't do what I was supposed to be doing. And so that's when I started seeing the signs of the abuse with me. And it was not just emotional. It was also very, very, it was all signs of abuse. I went through with him: financial, emotional, physical, mental. And so he had threatened several times that he would have me deported and that he would keep his son. And then I felt so weak. I believed it. I can't believe that I believed it. Like, and what people need to do if they're in a situation like that, or if they're not, and it's not good to criticize others, you know, watching the show and go, I can't believe she did that, or I can't believe she was so weak, or, you know, it's just human nature for me. Everybody has their weaknesses in life, and that was mine, was just, you know, being easily persuaded, naive, you know.
But narcissistic people look for weaknesses in other people, and they feed on that. And so it's not that you are or were weak. I personally don't believe that. Even though I didn't know you during that time, I do not believe that, because sometimes we confuse love with, or sometimes abuse for love, right? Oh, he loves me because he's jealous. Oh, he loves me because he's overly protective. No, that's not love.
Right.
Love is freedom. And love is nurturing and caring and all, you know, all forgiving. And but narcissistic people tend to prey on that.
They
and,
do.
You know, oh, okay, I see this little tiny bit of you that I can manipulate, and I'm going to hone in on that, and I'm going to make you feel like nothing. Because if I make you feel like nothing, I can do whatever I want with you.
And then they see, it's like they're driven by seeing how far they can take that.
Yes.
Like you said, I'm going to start here. Now I'm going to see if I take it a little bit further, and a little further.
And they do.
And then you end up in a situation where it's like, oh my God, how did I get here?
Right.
Like, how did I get here that he's being so abusive, physically abusive, hitting me with objects in places where people couldn't see the bruises. And then here I am covering them up instead of calling the cops.
Because you feared for your life, and you feared for your children, or your child at the time.
And I really thought I couldn't get out of that situation.
Right, because of the constant manipulation and the gaslighting and the lying and all of that, and to make you feel like you couldn't, or that you'd be nothing without him. Or you can't do it without me. What are you going to do without me? Who's going to take care of you? Yeah. What do you mean? You think somebody's going to want you? You have kids.
Right.
Right? I'm sure you've heard some of those things.
Yeah.
And that's just things that are said. And then you hear it so often that you start to believe it. And just like, your brain is very powerful. So you can trick yourself essentially into being happy. You can't be happy all the time. That's just not life.
Right.
But
you can trick yourself into being happy.
Right. And to being positive. You know what? This crappy thing happened. Like, I blew a tire, but guess what? I'm still alive. I didn't spin out. My car's still fine. Right. I just need a new tire. It sucks, but whatever, like you have to kind of trick your mind into being like, everything's fine, and just have that mentality. But when somebody's telling you over and over and over and over and over, like, you're nothing, you're trash, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're weak, you're terrible, you start to believe it, because you also believe what you're being fed. Right. So no,
a part of me did believe it.
Yeah.
And then that second part of me was like, dude, like, I met you when I was 31.
Yeah.
Like, I've had my own business since I opened it when I was like 19, 20.
Yeah.
And it's still alive today. It's still thriving today.
Yes.
My little dance company.
Yes.
Not big, but it's little and it's there.
Yes.
And hey, we all love it. Twinkle toes. But But there was that part that was still in my head saying, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. You know you don't need him. You know who you are. But get back there. How are you going to get back there?
Right.
You've changed so much. You're not who you used to be.
Right.
You're pretending because today's a good day and you're in your honeymoon stage or that honeymoon part of the cycle, you know, but before you know it, the tension comes and the abuse and you just go right back down.
Yep.
You just go right back down. And sometimes, I mean, when I was pregnant, that was honeymoon stage the whole time. And then when the baby would come, then the criticism and the tension and you're not doing this right. You're not doing this right. My mom wouldn't do it that way. My grandmother wouldn't do it that way. And I'm like, well, I'm going to marry again. Like, we're different.
Right.
We're different.
Also, I'm not your mom or your grandma, so, and you knew that.
I am who I am.
Yeah.
You know, but he actually did me the biggest favor. He left me no choice. Well, he convinced me to get my mental health in order, but in a very aggressive way. It wasn't very nice and kind. His mom was there to convince me as well because they wanted me to get the heck out of Dodge, come back to the States to do it in San Antonio from Quintana Roo, Mexico, because we were in the county of Tulum. I called my mom, like, I can't leave the kids. The baby was 8 months old. I can't leave. And my mom said, look, she didn't even know about the abuse. She had no idea. But she said, look, I know you're not well after having a loose and just come back. We'll get you with the, with the psychiatrist and that your grandma used to see, and then we'll get you some counseling, and then you can go back. And you go back home with your kids. They'll be okay. They'll be okay. So with my mom encouraging me, I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. And I did. Soon after, he moved a girl into the house, and I would see on FaceTime, when I was FaceTiming the kids, they're walking around in a big T-shirt, and I'm hoping she has shorts on underneath, but I'm not really positive there, and it doesn't even really matter. I'm trying to get my mental health in order, and it is what it is, and at least I get to see my kids. Well, soon after that, he turned the phone off, and I felt like the kids were being held hostage, and he would turn on the phone around 7 o'clock, call me. I'll talk to them for like 3 or 4 minutes, just one child, and then he would hang up the phone, turn it off again. So I finally said, okay, I'm not completely well yet, but I need to go back.
Yeah.
Like,
something's off.
Something's going on. And soon after, the landlord to where we were living tells me they moved. They haven't been here in 2 weeks. What? And so I'm like, then those FaceTime calls turned into panic, and where are y'all? Where are y'all? And my son, he still remembers that his dad, his biological, would go like that.
And how old is he at the time?
4. And he's my saving grace, because that's the biggest testimony right there. So I was at the airport with my dad, and I texted my mother's cousin, who is the state congressman of Tamaulipas, Mexico, and sent her an email of pictures of what he did to me and an audio. You hear the whole thing. And he used a broomstick on me, and you could hear it. It's awful. And she said, you need to go do family violence report. She held me by the hand pretty much with each step that I needed to take.
Yeah.
And at the end, after the family report was started, we did an Amber Alert. I gave the National Guard, the director contacted me, gave him his number. They found them like that. They said, they're in this area. We're going to sit here until he comes out of one of these houses. So they had the whole area, they were all around it.
Yeah.
And I think at 6, 7 in the morning, he came outside with the kids, was trying to disguise himself. They sent me a picture of what he was wearing. and they got him. I went to the district attorney's office and I got my kids.
Wow.
And they've been with me ever since. And to me, it's a miracle story.
It's also very traumatic.
Huge
And
trauma.
Right. And not just for you, but for the kids too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think it's hard as a mom, right, not to want to immediately be like, I shouldn't have left, or I should, you know what I mean? It's the guilt and the, you know, just the mom guilt. Mom guilt is so real.
I know, girl.
But the fact that you have them and they're safe,
Yes.
and they've been safe,
and they're so happy.
Yes.
There's like the happiest little things ever.
yeah,
And I literally like that. I'll get triggered every now and then. The school that my son goes to, it's a really small little school, and don't want to say too much about it, but they had called me and they're like, "Did you pick him up early?" And I'm like, "Huh?
oh my gosh,
No." But he was in the gym.
oh,
Thank God.
yeah,
But it wasn't a big school, so they found him right away. We called his little cell phone. I called his cell phone.
mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay, he's here. But in those seconds, I
Oh.
just went into panic, and
Of
I'm
course.
like, how did they know where he's at? How did they figure this out? Because his mom was behind all of this as well. I asked her kindly several times, I'm worried about my children. Do you know where they are?
Mm-hmm.
And she's from San Antonio, or lives in San Antonio. She's still practicing real estate here. And it's a shame that all of this happened, and then they do things like this, or they did this.
yeah,
Like, I would talk to her about it. She knew about everything.
mm-hmm.
Before I went to my mom, before I went to anyone, I thought, I'm going to reach out to his mom because, maybe she can help.
Right, and from mom to mom, help
Yeah.
me,
Yeah, so that way her son doesn't get into any trouble.
right,
And then before you know it, he does this to me. Like, what is going on?
yeah,
But through the grace of God, for me and my faith is how I put it, I'm here. And I'm living this new life as a wife to Jeff.
yes, congratulations.
As a mom to my 3 babies, and now coming along another little baby.
Yes,
And I really do thank God and count my blessings every day, because I don't have like the biggest house in the world, but I don't need it. I live in a safe place, and that alone brings me so much comfort. Just knowing I'm going home and it's safe and healthy and I'm happy. But
Yeah.
it's not just about me. The kids are happy
yeah, and safe,
and safe.
and in a loving home, with loving parents.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
That's everything. That's all you could ever
It's a
hope
miracle
for.
me.
Yeah.
It's a miracle for me in my life,
Yeah. And I'm so happy that you have. I'm genuinely, like, from my heart, like, so happy that you have that, because you deserve that.
Thank you.
And because you went through so much shit, like, you literally, like, write a book, right?
I
What you're
know.
going
Yes,
to.
at some point.
Like, it's a full
At some
Lifetime
point.
movie. You know what I mean?
know.
Like,
I know, because I do want to, like, I remember we were looking for a nanny. We went to allpair.com and we interviewed this beautiful young lady from New York who was working for a political family and couldn't tell us who.
mm-hmm.
And both me and that guy were interviewing her, and she was moving there because she had met a guy who worked at a hotel, that he was a fitness instructor. He was Mexican. He wasn't from the U.S., and he was so in love with her, and she was so excited about it. And I wanted to tell her, like, run for your life. Do not move here, please.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see you. Not saying, I didn't even know the guy, but I just felt like, because she was really young, she was like 18, 19, and I just wanted to tell her, like, no, just stay home. Like, just stay home with your parents, stay with the job that you got. You don't know this guy. And I feel like they can easily trick you for whatever motive they have. If it's citizenship, if it's to have beautiful children or whatever. Or I had money. I had done well in my life with my careers, you know, or with my career. And I lived in New York, saved a lot of money, worked there. He knew that. His mom knew that. So everybody has a different motive at times.
Sure.
So you can't just let your guard down right away and just trust, you know. So that was that's one of the things, like if I were to write a book or something like that, it would be to just really like make awareness.
Yeah.
Like, please be very, very, very careful.
Yeah.
You know, don't just fall head over heels like I did.
Right. Love makes you dumb. Not you, but us in general, like people.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes us dumb.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So yeah, logic goes out the window.
So the second time around for me, I was like, I don't want to date anyone at all. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to work. I'm going to do my Tejano career. And I don't want to go out with anyone until the kids are like 10 years from now. So when my son's 15 and my daughter's this age, you know. But along the way, I met Jeff and we became friends. And we were friends for a good like 7 months. And then finally, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, you want to go out? You want to go have lunch? And he's like, yes, sure. And when we did, he opened up even more so. And he opened up a little bit. I asked a lot of questions to like really,
of course,
like get it out.
Right.
You know, and so he went through a lot of the same things I did, but in a different perspective, in a different environment.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, we shared that same trauma. And we were both on two different paths, but trying to heal from that trauma.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that connection right there really helped us become, you know, close. And especially we knew what we wanted in life, which was peace.
Of course.
And a healthy relationship.
Right.
You know, no game place.
Right.
Like,
just be happy.
Be happy.
And be supportive and love one another. And that's it. Yeah.
And he's been amazing. He's really, I had to work really hard in the beginning of my career to produce those songs.
Yeah.
You know, the first album. And then he came along. He's like, I want to help you. And I'm like, okay. I want to take you to this, you know, to this event, to the award ceremony. Like, okay. Sounds good. You know, and he's just been 100%, you know, supportive of my career, who I am.
Yes.
If I do a little performance here and there, he's in the front row, all excited.
Aww.
You know, or if I'm like, can you take the kids? Like, can I go alone? And then you can help me with the kids, and my mom, you can go with my mom. That way all of y'all go together. Yeah, sure. Whatever you want. Like, just so easygoing.
Yeah.
You know?
He's a sweet guy.
He is.
Yeah. You guys deserve each other.
Thank you.
I love that for you. For y'all.
For us.
Yes. I'm
for
happy
us,
for
for
y'all.
all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you have your music career that is a little bit on pause for baby.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, right now, I just did come out with the second album in June.
Yes,
so that's
congratulations.
super exciting. Thank you. And I also am a newly member of the Latin Recording Academy and the Recording Academy. So
Congrats.
I can vote for both, for people, a voting member, so I can vote for both if they're in the Latin Recording Academy or even the Grammys. So that's really cool too.
That's awesome.
So as I do pause a little bit of, you know, maybe performing, but I need to get a little bit more, have a little more time to get a band together, you know, and things like that. But I am going to be working on one more song before baby comes. Hopefully we can make it in time. But it's with Shelly Lattes.
Oh, nice.
LMD, Little Miss Dynamite Productions.
Legend.
Yes, she's amazing.
She is. She's awesome.
She really is. So we've already been working a little bit together, and I've gotten to know her a little bit. She's gotten to know me, so it's been really fun.
Yeah. I heard she's a tough coach, but it's worth it.
Oh.
Yeah, in a good way. I've never heard anything bad. I've just heard like she's gonna push you, and she said it before too. She's like, "Oh no, my artist." She's like, "I need you to bring your A game, and be at the top of your game all day, every day, whenever we're working together." And I was like, "Period," because that's how you get the best from these people.
Yeah,
and I mean, every artist she works with is phenomenal.
Really, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And that's why I really wanted to work with her. I love her music, and I love the way she handles her business. And so the first time we had a meeting, she laid some things down, and she said, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or anything like that. And I said, no, like, none taken. It's business. It's not personal.
Yeah.
Like, give it to me. I told her, this is what I need to hear.
Yeah.
I need to hear this because, you know, that's the only way of growing is listening to a true professional giving you good advice,
right?
Especially if they're hearing something that you're not hearing. You know,
constructive criticism.
Absolutely.
That's how you grow.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how we are as parents.
Oh, for sure.
To our kids, because we want them to be the best. You know? So,
yeah.
no, I'm in cloud 9 to have her.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
When is that projected to be completed?
We're supposed to finish in the beginning of October. And I haven't really talked to her about like a release date, you know, or anything like that. Maybe it'll be around that time, or maybe it'll be a little bit after. But yeah, we should be finishing, and it's going to be a conjunto song.
Okay.
So it's a little conjunto project there.
Nice. I love that.
And she's working up a couple of songs, so hopefully we'll get to see each other soon and get to listen to those.
Well, if you do a single release party, let me know, girl.
Okay.
I'll be there.
I know. I need to do one. I have never done one.
What?
I've never done an album release. I've never done a single release.
Okay,
I'm
so
the worst.
both,
I'm terrible.
Both.
Like,
yeah. I don't think it has to be anything huge either. Like, it doesn't have to be like a giant red carpet. Like, just family, friends.
Okay. I'm down.
He never says anything unless he really feels compelled. So so we'll do it here at the studio.
Sounds good. Do you hear that, Ellen? Little Miss Dynamite. We're gonna be doing our single release.
That would be awesome. And right across from the Tobin Center, so it's amazing.
I know.
Yeah. Totally down for that. We can talk about that on camera.
Okay.
But yes.
Sounds good.
Okay. So speaking of the community,
yes.
How do you feel that you have been perceived, and either accepted or not accepted?
Interesting question. Well, it's not an easy industry. You know,
I've heard.
I think. How do I put it? Let's see. Well, I feel like in certain groups I've been accepted, and people have been very welcoming. There are a lot of people, journalists mainly, that I'll do little podcasts with or things like that, and they're genuinely good people.
Yeah.
We get off camera and we'll continue our conversation because it's just natural.
Yeah.
But I have faced some, I mean, literally people look at me up and down and just like look away and not want to even say hi. And I couldn't understand it at first. I'm like, okay, what's that all about? What happened there? There are others where I literally had to say, please don't use my name in your whatever it is. Like, please. Terrible experiences where they promise you the world. They don't follow through. At one particular award ceremony that I had gone to, I was they had said, oh, Stephanie's next, and then someone else looked at me up and down and said, no.
Really?
Yes.
That's terrible.
I was like, am I really experiencing this right now? Like, and they just no. So-and-so's next. Put her next. And they did.
To perform
next.
Ah.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just not coming back. I don't want to be a part of their shindig next year or for any other year after that. You know, they did use my name again and misspelt it. And I'm like, here's screenshots.
Right.
Evidence. I've asked you not to do that.
Right.
Please take it down. They didn't take it down.
It's very disrespectful. It's blatant disrespect, though.
Yeah.
See,
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't play that, so you're better than me.
Don't. You're amazing.
better than me, though.
Okay, yeah, no, and I can be like you, girl. Like, but in that moment, I'm like, well, like my song "Ponte la Máscara."
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it bother you.
Yeah.
It's It's not about you. You're going to get up on stage. You're going to sing anyway. You know, get your game face on.
Yeah.
You know?
That and realizing a lot of people just project. So, you know, people that are that ugly, I'm like, okay, like one, God doesn't like ugly.
What?
But I'm like, one, God doesn't like ugly.
Right.
But two, like, you know, that's whatever you're projecting onto me is a, you know, like direct feeling of how you feel by yourself. And so you're literally projecting onto me. And like, I'm sorry that you're so upset. I'm sorry that I bother you so much. Sorry my existence bothers you.
I know, right?
But yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
I think that's what happened, because there's a little backstory to that. And they weren't getting the show on the road. I went up and said, we need to get the show on the road. And they're like, okay, you can sing next. And I said, no, before me, we need to have this person and this person. She has a child here. She got completely rained on, you know, and went back and got dressed. Like, I'd rather her go first before me.
Yeah.
So I started having, like, I just did that. So I think at some point I stepped on someone's toes, and then they're like, this person's going to be first before you.
But you did what you felt was right in that moment.
Yes.
And what you needed to do. And like the
Yes.
fact that you could have easily been like, oh yeah, no, I'm up next. Bye guys. You didn't do that because you thought about somebody
I
else
was like,
before
no.
you.
I'm like, if my kids were there, then I would have been like, I'm thinking of my kids. I better go. And then we get the heck out of Dodge, right? But no, her kids here. Mine are home in bed. Come on.
Yeah.
You want to go next? You want to go first? Yes. Thank you. Yes, of course. Go.
And that goes a long way. That even you just saying that and offering your spot or, you know, them to go in front of you, they're not going to forget that. Whoever this person is.
I hope not.
And, you know, and it might, you know, be a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And they're going to be like, wait, I remember that. I'm in a position to help you. Let me help you.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That's typically, I mean, that's how karma works. It's good karma. You're putting out good energy and karma.
Yes. And sometimes it can happen. Sometimes it doesn't.
Sure.
Right? But that would be really awesome for it to like come back that way.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, so that situation wasn't very good. And I've come to realize that I got into a second situation, something kind of similar that, oh, we want you to perform. And, oh, I don't know what happened. You're not on the list anymore. And what do you mean? Like, I already told people I was going to perform there, you know, and
just being snubbed.
It got, yes. And it's like, okay. But I will tell you this, though, clear and simple, where I can say it. Money speaks. You have money to give. They're going to roll out that red carpet for you. You're number one. And so there are a lot of people in the industry that are artists, and they pay their way. They're paying their way. That's what's paving their way. And so I'm not there. I put my money with my music videos, with my recording, like with Ace. I'm still with Ace after all this time.
Nice.
And I'm with Eddie Bettis too. But that's where I put my money, you know, into the career, and not say, oh, well, I won an award. Here's money. You know, I want my name on that. Here's how much is it going to be? You know, I'll buy tickets so me and my family can go to the event, but I'm not going to throw more money into it.
Yeah.
To just buy my way into the industry. I have to work hard.
Interesting.
And I have.
Yeah.
And then now I'm in great hands with Little Miss Dynamite and giving me some really good advice. And I feel like now I'm in a good place. I'm going to be working harder. And now, more specifically, what do I need to work on? Okay, that's what I'm going to work on.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel little by little. Another person, you know, Patsy Torres.
Yeah.
She's been such a great mentor as well.
Yeah.
So I'll ask her, hey, what do you think about this and that? And it's going to cost about this much. And she's like, no, don't worry. I wouldn't do that if I were you. It's going to happen for you. It will. It's just going to take some time. So just wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And someone will approach you and ask you for this or that. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and that helps a lot because too, you know, some people want to trick you, you know?
Yeah. And the fact that you have literally legends as mentors is phenomenal.
Yes.
And that also says a lot about you, because a lot of these people, and specifically these women, have been through a lot. They've seen a lot, they've heard a lot, they've paved the way as well. And so for them to take you on as a mentee, like, that says a lot about you, that they want to.
Thank you.
That, you are genuine and sweet and kind-hearted, and, you mean well.
I try.
And I think that goes a long way. Money can only go so far.
It can only go so far, right?
Because it's who you are as a person. Who are you at the end of the day? And if you're a trash person with money, cool. Because people are just going to know you as that. And then that makes you look kind of dumb. It's like you're just throwing money at stuff, but nobody really likes you. Nobody wants to be around you. And I don't even know who this person is. I truly don't. I really don't. I'm just speaking like in general. Like, that's just how life is.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And everybody knows.
Oh.
Like, everybody knows, like.
I'm not in it. I'm not close enough. Like, I have multiple friends in the industry. But I don't talk like chisme. I'm just like, how are you? And how's your album? And how's your single? And how's your music video? Or like, you want to be in your music video? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm like, okay, bye. I don't know anything. And I'm like,
I know. And I'm trying. I don't want to be getting so far into it either. Like, those things have happened, and I'm like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
So I rather show up to the next event, put a smile on my face, be super excited. You know, this last event that I sang at was right across the street at the Tobin Center. It was a beautiful experience from start to finish. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. A lot of wonderful singers were there. A lot of talent was there.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. And to be included.
Of course.
It felt really great to be included in such a beautiful event. And I felt like the time does come, like Patsy said.
Yeah, definitely.
Your time will come. The time will come. And so even though I experienced that at this, maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, well, look where we are now, you know? And this situation was really nice from start to finish. And you learn along the way. And you get to pick and choose who you're going to be a part of, who you're not going to be a part of, who you want to associate with, who you don't.
Now, where do you hope to see your music career go?
That's a great question. Well, I love to, after baby comes and I take care of him, because he's going to be depending on my survival for quite a while, right? Literally. So I want to see myself practice with a band. Okay. My husband has a band. Did you know that him and George?
I mean, I know
their own little grupo primazo.
I did not know that they have their own. No.
Yes, they had a show.
Really?
Recently too. I should have invited you.
What the heck?
Yes,
I would have gone.
They're like really good.
Yeah.
And so they have their thing going on, and it's very different from mine. So what I want to see is just being consistent on practicing. I want to come out and have like a really good 2-hour show. Yeah. That's why I work so hard on other original music. There are some covers that I might want to put into the show. But yeah, at some point I want to see myself performing at Fiesta, or things like that. Yeah. Locally. Yeah. I'm down for local.
So I have a question that I like to ask artists. If you could close your eyes and it doesn't matter where that is or who's around, what does that look like in order for you to feel like this is it?
Oh my goodness. Quickly, I'll say, if we had like this huge show like at the Freeman Coliseum, and just be a part of a huge arena like that. Yeah. That's a I made it moment. Okay. That's a I made it moment. It's going to take me a little while to get there though.
Never know, girl.
I'm on slow-mo.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
I'm on slow-mo now.
Yeah. You can bring him out with the little headphones.
There you go. There you go. But I'd love to see, like, not just my band, but others. There's so much talent in the city. And I love to see a bunch of us like just have this one huge show somewhere like that, and like just, and I include like everybody, but that would be for me. That would be my like I made it moment.
Yeah.
You know, singing at the Tobin Center was definitely a good I made it moment. Not I made it, but like singing there, I'm like, oh, nice, check off the bucket list.
Yes.
You know, because who wouldn't want to sing in such a beautiful auditorium?
Right.
I've sang for hundreds of people before at like the missions game or the Corpus Christi Hook, singing the national anthem, you know, so I've sang a lot in different places. But for me, that would be the I made it moment, singing at like the Freeman Coliseum, some big, huge arena like that. You know, performing my own songs, having the choreography down to a T, you know, with the band, everybody, you know, in uniform.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards.
You'll get there.
At some point. I believe it.
Yeah.
I do believe it. I just believe it's timing.
Yeah.
And whenever that time comes, it's perfect timing for it.
And I'll be front row.
Yay! I'm VIP.
Yeah.
Backstage.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, yes, backstage girl. Yeah, I can help with makeup. I'll do touch-ups.
There you go. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm so happy for you and
Thank
everything
you.
that's happening in your life.
Thank you.
Like I said, like you deserve it. So
Thank you. I believe it too.
Yeah.
I believe it too. I believe that
Good.
all of us,
Yes.
no matter what, everybody deserves happiness,
Yes.
happiness in their life.
I agree.
Everybody deserves to be in a healthy relationship. And when you found it, keep it.
Yeah.
Hold on to it.
Hold
Take
on
care
tight.
of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Learn from it. Be a better
Yes.
person for it. So,
Yes.
and they better be a better person too.
Absolutely.
For the relationship.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How do people find your music? How do they follow
Yeah.
you? All of that.
Okay, so I do have a website, SteffanieMartinez.com, and it's Steffanie with 2 F's. And you can also find it just like that at all the media, social media platforms. The only thing is I haven't changed it on Apple iTunes yet, and that's Steffi MTZ.
Okay.
Steffi MTZ on Apple, but everywhere else is Steffanie Martinez,
Okay.
and it'll all pop up.
Yes. All right. Anything you want to say to family, fans, friends?
Just want to say thank y'all for your love and support. Really blessed to have all of y'all in my life. And if you haven't heard my music, please go listen to it. See if you like it. And you can follow me on Facebook. You'll see everything there too whenever I'll do a little show. But thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
I know this is your second time, but this is your first time solo.
I know.
So yes,
It's exciting.
it's good to get way more into who you are and your history and
Yeah.
where you come from, where you are now, where you're going. So
Yes.
yes, I really appreciate you being here.
On a good path.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate
of
it.
course,
I
for
love
having y'all.
seeing you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And yes, thank you so
Yes.
much. It's always really good to see you.
Of course. No, good to see you too, and I can't wait to meet him.
I know.
Yeah. I love
can't
babies.
wait.
Give me
I know.
ansias.
I know. Right?
They're
So
little
cute. And he already has
Yeah.
chubby cheeks. I can see his little chubby
Aw.
cheeks in the sonogram.
I love
And
that.
he's 6 pounds, 5 ounces right now. So he's growing good. He's doing
Yes.
good, growing good.
Yes.
We're excited.
I love that. Yes.
Thank
Congrats
you.
again.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. And guys, make sure that you again tune in, like, share, do all the things. Support my friend, please. Listen to her music. Purchase the music. Go to her shows whenever she has
Yes.
them. Whenever that is, buy the album.
Buy the album.
Yes, please. What's the name of the album?
Yes. I have 2. The new one is Regalitos, and the first one is La Vida.
Okay. Buy both albums.
Yes.
Listen to them. They're
It'll be
amazing.
great.
She's amazing. You're going to
Thank
love
you.
her. Again, thank you to Valpa Media for housing and producing, and to Latina Podcast Network for having your network. And guys, I will see you next time. Bye.